this one right here. That one might be my favorite. It's so cool. That waterline pocket behind it just looks like perfect clouds. Hey everyone, so we're gonna do something kind of cool today, and I've been meaning to do it for quite some time, so I figured today would just be, you know, a good day to do that. This guy. Don't play around. You know it's because you didn't have anything for this week. Stop it! You're ruining the illusion that I know what I'm doing. Nobody thinks that. Quiet, you! Anyway though, yeah, let's take a look at what is on deck. So, there are certain aspects about Montana Agates that make them very, very highly prized, and that is banding, color range, the ability to be iris agate, but mostly moss. But above all of those things, there is one other thing that makes Montana Agates very, very highly prized, and that is when color pockets, banding, and dendrites come together to form something amazing. And I, of course, am referring to Scenic Agates. If you take certain slabs of Montana Agate, you can manipulate it in a way where it appears to be a little scene, such as these trees on a hill with a cloud overhead. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So, to begin, I grabbed out a bunch of my really nice mossy Montana Agates. Also some that have nice dark color pockets and banding, but moss is going to be the main thing to look for. And I don't just mean like the little patches like that. The main thing you want to see is, where's a good example? Is this a good example? It is not a good example. So you've got pieces like this that have that blobby moss. But one of the things that you really want to see is pieces like this that have dendritic formations. That's a good example. Where did I just have it? There it is. This one is a good example as well. There's some really nice dendrites in that one. So, I'm gonna examine these for a little bit, and we're gonna see where we want to highlight, because, yeah, some of these may just look like slabs, but I think there are some scenes hiding in these. These are actually a very tricky agate to do, because you have to be able to see them in a kind of an abstract way. Like, for someone, this may just be a pretty mossy agate slab, but to me, if I hold it up like this, and we cut it right there, and round it off, what I see is some trees on a hillside with a cloud overhead. So yeah, these kind of make you think and look at your agates in a way that you wouldn't normally look at them, which is kind of why they're so much fun. But yeah, they're very one of a kind when you get them to work out. So I'm gonna examine these, we're gonna put on our marks, and yeah, go from there. I'll be right back. Okay, so right off the bat, I see some that could turn into some really pretty scenes. So we got this one first, and I see a hill with some bushes and the sun shining through a cloud or something. I think if we trim that like that, it could be really, really pretty. Then this one, same thing. Which angle did I have it? There we go. I see a line of trees with a Montana sunset in the background. This one, I see a nice little pine tree. It'll focus. Again, with nice amber clouds in the background. This one's probably my favorite, just because that is going to turn into such a pretty little scene. This one, I think we can get some nice moss out of that. That's like a perfect tree shape in that dendrite. But then there's some, like this, where it's too thick to really get a light to shine in through, so I'm going to trim it right here, because this seems to be all the nice stuff. Same with this one. The bottom is pretty empty, but that top, I think we might be able to get something out of that. This one I'm going to trim a line off of. And then there's these three, which I can see stuff, but I think we need to grind away a bit to get closer into them. Like that one, and there's some nice moss in that one. And then I think we can get a nice pocket right there, but I need to shave that tip off. So, let's go trim. So, we have got them all trimmed down a bit. Okay, you can get closer. Yeah. See, there's a nice pocket in there. This one I knew already was going to be good, so I just flattened down the back so that it can go on a dop. This one came out really nice. There's a pretty little tree in there. Yeah, there we go. Super pretty. This one, I think I'm gonna just throw this back in the tumbler because it's so pretty. Look at all the dendrites on this thing. It's so nice. Gotta love it. Same with this one. I didn't do any trimming on that one. I just, yeah, flattened the back. This one I'm excited about. I think this is gonna be super pretty. I think it's gonna be a good one. While those are curing, I'm going to prepare something for a later part of this video. Alright, they're all good to go. Let's get going on cabbing. Okay, so we've done all of our shaping as far as the outside goes. Here, let me see if I can get this a little closer. And they are looking good. I'm going to do all of the rounding on my next grit just because I didn't want to get any blowouts, but they're sure shaping up nicely. Here, I'll show you the rest before we move on. We got this one right here, which I think is going to look a lot better once I get it rounded. This little tree is so cool. Again, I'll get a closer shot of that one once it's done. Let us switch to our next plate, and then we do the whole, cabbing, polishing, whatnot. They're all done. So, let me pop these off the dops and we'll get some close-ups. Alright, so here are our results. Sorry, I'm grabbing the first one. So one of them popped off the dop and I never put it back on, so we wound up with 5. Am I not on? Where's my focus?
It's a turkey.
Oh, there we go. Found it. So this one actually kind of came out a little worse than I was hoping. See how this one, that brown, goes down a bit? I didn't realize how high up on the surface it was, so we cut right through it. So it's not so much a Scenic Agate anymore as it is just a Montana Agate Cabochon. There we go. Found the focus. See a little kind of tree scene down at the bottom. This one was weird and I cut it on the wrong angle. I wanted to get deeper into that pocket, but oh well. Again, it's still a really, really pretty cabochon. Alright, now these 3 are the ones that came out best, according to me. So, we got a little hilly scene with some bushes, and then sun, lit up cloud up above it, all sunny and red and stuff. I like it. I think it's pretty. Then we got our big one, which I don't know how scenic it is, but it's really pretty either way. Kind of looks like a ridgeline with some trees on it. One of the reasons these things are so hard to make is because it is 100% dependent on your imagination. This one right here is my favorite. I hope I have gotten up close enough on it so you guys can see the detail, but there's just, it's a perfect tree. Those dendrites made a perfect tree, and then you got that actual waterline banding right behind it. It's so pretty. It just looks like a lone tree sitting in a field with clouds up behind it. There we go. Finally got a little bit closer for you. It's so pretty. Of course it has fingerprints on it, like everything I do close-ups on, but yeah, like perfect little tree, waterline pockets behind it. It's so cool and very frustrating because, you know, of course the one that turns out to be my favorite also is the smallest and therefore hardest to get close-ups of. Either way though, that is going to make a beautiful little ring. Look at that. Really, I just needed a better background. Now you can see it a lot better. That's so pretty. Alright, well, that went considerably faster than I was planning on, so I tossed this back on a dop. We're going to make a cab out of this one, and then I have something else planned. They are done, but I'm going to get close-ups on my phone, just because I can get a little closer. Alright, so, here's that first one. It came out nice, not quite as nice as I was hoping. It's still a very pretty cabochon, though. I like it either way. But, the second one, that I almost didn't even do, and I'm so happy I did. Oh, this might be my favorite one so far. Look at that beauty! I'll see if I can get a little closer, but I mean, it literally looks like a foggy forest, like a morning in the mountains or something. It's so cool. Here, I'll see if I can get a little closer. All right, so here I can get a little closer, I believe. There we go. It's so cool. Look at that. It's like a foggy morning forest or something. I love it. It's so cool. I almost didn't even go back and redo this one, but I am happy I threw it on a dop and did it. It is so pretty. Man, I really wish I had a macro lens so I could get a little closer for you guys, but it's on the list. I promise I'll have one soon. Well, this would normally be the part of the video where, you know, I would take one of these cabochons and make a ring, but I am literally 100% out of silver. So, we'll do that later, I guess. So, in honor of that, let's make another cabochon, I guess, because I can't make a ring right now. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm not going to show you this till it's done, but wow, it's so pretty. Alright, it's done. It's absolutely beautiful, and we're absolutely going to be doing something with it at some point. Now, where the heck did I put it? How did I lose it already? I just turned... Oh, my goodness. Everyone calm down. I found it. Look at that Lapidary. It's so pretty. And it flashes, like, in different angles, so, yeah. If you flip it upside down, there's a completely different flash plane. It's so pretty. I love it. Main pocket right there. Yeah, we're going to definitely do something with this at some point. Now that I got my lighting fixed, I'm actually going to do more close-ups on all the other cabochons that we did earlier, because my other camera did not really do a good job of it. Yeah, that's way better. Alright, so there's our big one. Looks like a little forest on a ridgeline. I really like that one. That one came out really well. That'd be this one right here with the pretty sun over the hills. I see it anyway. Again, as I said earlier, that's what makes these so difficult. It is 100% dependent on imagination. I'm sure some of my raw pieces over here, if someone else came and looked through it, they'd see more scenes than I did. And I'm sure some people are looking at this going, what the heck are you even talking about? Then this one, I'm definitely going to have to get closer. Maybe I might anyway. This one right here. That one might be my favorite. It's so cool. That waterline pocket behind it just looks like perfect clouds. And the way that branching dendrite is coming out of that crack, I mean, it literally looks like a perfect tree. That is going to be such a pretty ring. I'm very excited to show you all that one when it's done. And this one is, I think, my other one that's tied for my favorite.
I mean, it literally looks like a foggy forest. It's so cool. I love it. Man, these things are so much fun. Alrighty, well, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. We're definitely going to be doing this again at some point whenever I get through more of my Montana Agates. I've got a bunch of dark mossies that could very well be holding some nice scenes inside of them. Also, whenever I get more silver in, I'm definitely going to be turning some of those into rings. Some of them are just begging for it, so if you would be interested in that, let me know and I'd make a video of that. Let me know which cab we made today was your favorite. I don't know. Mine's either the foggy forest or the one lone tree. Probably the one lone tree. That thing is just so cool. I'll have links in the description to various things, a myriad of stuff. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next week.